And I want to kind of tie in maybe some of the spiritual messages that I've been getting around it regarding this is
Okay.
that it's also something that is according to the Guardian missions, and it's kind of like a Guardian rescue mission or a Guardian intervention, so to speak, that through the forms of staging false flags and through the forms of staging UFO invasions, that they can also bring unity around things, because if the world or these countries believe that a threat is beyond the level of military and central intelligences and Willy Wonka's getting involved and aggression and warfare between countries, that it can also represent some form of allegiances or alliances on a global level in terms of feeling like some sort of threat is outside of their control. So that it may be some form of level of divine intervention preventing the World War III from happening by the world believing that the threat is outside of the human capacity, so to speak. All right, thank you so much. And welcome everybody to my channel, IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension, guys. Today I have a special guest on the channel. This is Peter, the Insider. He has done lots of shows with my friend Tano on the Galactic channel, and this is how we have ultimately came in contact with one another. I'm so excited to have him here. He is definitely a unique and mysterious character. And I think he has a lot of deep intel and information in terms of advanced alien contact and alien intelligence organizations. In fact, that's the official organization that he's ultimately connected to. So I want to introduce this person to you guys. I think he's someone that has a lot of really interesting and deep insights into certain things that I've never even heard about. So he's going to be also sharing things with me today as well. So thank you so much for being here today, Peter. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself today?
Okay, so thank you very much for giving me opportunity to be on your channel. It's all the time honor for me to be on new channel. So long story short, it was for me like 35 years ago. Like I was young and I don't know what I want to do in my life. And I want to know somebody who will show me a purpose in my life. And I don't want to be a reckless. So I don't know, like a mafia, gangster, a criminal, you know what I mean? And who the heck will show me purpose? Not police, no, army. And then in it was relatively after a short period of time, it was like less than 3 months of training. Somebody smashed me, hammed me back, to my head. And that was pretty much what I can remember. And I mean, like, holy moly, this is different. This is next level crap. And it was 1989, 1990, something like that. I'm talking like time wise. And I was like, what's going on here? And that was pretty much, my bad. those were beginnings of my pretty much career for special units, special army forces units, and then I suddenly realized that everything maybe can be or might be total different. And what does it mean? For me, does it mean, because fine, all of us know, or let's see, most people know that, yeah, there are some elite forces, units, whatever, I mean, army, but then I realized, okay, what is going on? Those technologies, it is like, it was edge 1980s, 1990s, and they were using technologies, and it wasn't something new for them, for those guys. We are seeing new, brand new, right now. You know what I mean? And I was like, what is going on? This doesn't make any sense. So something is not right here. And then they showed me. They simply drove me to the ACIO. And I was like, what is this? What is deal of what
Okay.
is this?
And I want to just screen share this website.
Okay, go ahead and deal it.
Okay, so this is what you're talking about, the ACIO official.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and
just by the way, sorry, I know it is very impolite, but do you know how crazy it is? On one hand, ACIO HQ, I mean headquarters, they allowed me to speak loudly, but they strongly denied me to make some sort of official website or so, and it took me almost 3 years. Like, of course, fine, but it will be total non-legit. People will not believe it if we not make some sort of summary and whatever. Do you know what I mean, for people? And they were like, do you know what? If you want to do so, let's do it. And now here we have it. Here we go. Sorry for that. I'm just saying, because that was hell of the nightmare for me.
Peter, and I want to address to everyone watching today. So you don't typically show your face when you come on shows.
None. No, please, none.
Okay.
Never.
And can you explain to everyone watching why that is?
Because that's the rule. That's the, typical way of our organization is working.
Okay. So it's for safety reasons. It's for covert, to keep non-conspicuous. So can you tell us then, what is ACIO about? What is the foundation of this community? And what type of intel specifically are you guys bringing in or pulling in?
Yeah, and this is another problem. Of course, it is way too obvious that it wasn't for that long period of time ACIO, but it changed tremendously, a lot of times the name, but for thousands of years, many thousands of years, ACIO exists. But the thing is that it has hundreds of divisions. And there is another problem, let's say dicey part, or let's say sketchy part, because divisions as how can I say it, as the needs, according to the needs, they were split it and the merged together all the time. The numbering of divisions are 753. The numberings, give me a second. But the real divisions, how many of them are existing at the time, is 612. It is absolutely crazy, but it makes sense completely, because there will be, I don't know, 2, 3, or maybe 4 divisions. They will be only doing, do you know what I mean, like numbering all the files and whatever, and they simply decided to say, like, you know what, guys, screw that, we will leave it as it was, and that's it. So this is it. And the main purpose is to monitor, to do whatever, like, involved, to monitor, to, how can we say it, to have any sort of presentation and whatever with ET species, mankind with ET species, with all around, or let's say within, all around the universe or space or whatever. And this is another problem, because for so many people it's like, nah, it's the same. No, it is not. The space, universe, megaverse, dimension, it is not the same. Or I don't know.
Yeah. So do you guys do any monitoring? It seems like this is maybe rooted in some of what's going on in the shadow I'm sorry, I'll say the shadow Willy Wonka.
We are doing all kind of that stuff. And do you know what is absolutely crazy? Because people will say, nah, it is nonsense, because they downloaded pictures from the internet. And do you know what is crazy? It is vice versa. And I mean it for real. Because in the internet, or within the internet, 80-90% of pictures are pretty much out of our databases. And I mean it for real, or let's say out of our files. Because, for example, right, the how can we call it, clean web or surface web. So long story short, you open what it is, Google, Yahoo, Bing, or all kind of those, let's say, normal search engines.
Mm-hmm.
If we are talking about percentage of web, I mean internet, it is capable of searching, I mean, my bad, indexing. It is indexing 0.03% of internet. Other stuff is hidden. So it is either hidden internet or web, my bad, because internet is hardware. That means those servers, cables, and whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's it. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. So, Peter, I have a couple questions for you.
Go ahead.
And since, you seem to be on the inside, on the intel, have some awareness of what's going on in the shadow groups, it looks like worldwide military corporations, Dark Fleet, the Nazi agenda, Mars Colony Corporation.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So, and I know you said it takes a long time to dive through all this, that it would take almost like a 3-hour just introduction, right?
Not 3 hours, so many hours. Yes.
Yeah. Long time to kind of warm people up to the organization and the knowledge that you guys have and the insight and the intel. In terms of any current events, this is what I kind of had mentioned to you in the email. with things that are going on with Willy Wonka, with the UFO, things that are starting to present themselves, things that are going
I
on.
will say you sorry. I know once again it is I know that it is very impolite, but pretty much because this is, let's say, long pre-planned interview or show. I don't know what is your terminology you are used to, but or you are using, sorry, my bad. But actually, area 58 and area 81.
Right. We were going to go into those topics. And I'm wondering, does any
This
of
is
the
important, please. This is important.
current events tie into those
But
particular
this is it. What I
divisions?
want to say, please. This is it. What I want to say. This is directly. How can I say? This is directly tied very closely, and that's the problem. I mean, I
Well,
cannot.
that's exactly what I'm trying to get from you is
Yeah.
what intel do you have that can help people right now in understanding the current situation of what's going on?
Do you know what? I don't know how somebody can agree to make experimentation on their own nation. I mean, I really want to say to use certain words, but I don't want because we will get yellow dollar for that. Sorry, because DARPA, we can go DARPA
Yeah.
maybe on
And
I don't know Wikipedia.
can you please spell that as well? Just say DARPA.
Yeah, DARPA. Do
Okay.
you know what is so crazy? I mean, it was. Now it is not. Give me a second. Give me a second. We can go on Wikipedia or maybe because on Wikipedia there is very slicky. I mean, just please go to Wikipedia and you will be so shocked what they are playing, quotes in quotes, to do so. What they are about, how they are presenting themselves. Please go to Wikipedia. Yeah. And you will be like, what? This doesn't make any sense. They are fine. Sorry, please. This is desperate laugh because they are crazy. And those guys, I mean, not guys, but do you know what I mean? They've got approximately in between 200 and 300 employees, right? And look, yeah, and it absolute BS. It's nonsense. Like 3.5 billion annual budget. Nope, no, it is absolute nonsense. It is in between 15 and 20 billion, just by the way. And on their own official website, if you go on official website, and they've got what there should be their own official website somewhere, I think. And the stuff is DARPA MIL should be. No, I am talking about MIL, like military something. It should be something like that. At least I think.
Is this
like military?
Okay, tell me what to search. Military?
No, DARPA, please, DARPA and dot and mil, like military. Yep. Yep. What the heck you are doing, you crazy? Yeah, this is it.
This one here?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. So look, they're like, yeah, we are, you know, developing and advancing and enhancing technologies and whatever. Of course not. Do you know what? I'm tough guy, but After what I saw, those video footages and photos from Area 58, I mean, I was up to throw up. I was like, I will throw up. They are not people, they are pricks. They are pricks. They shoot it up. They killed real doctors. I mean, standard doctors. I mean, medical doctors, and they marched the special military units, and of course their doctors. So of course they are special, the medical doctors, but special one, and they made that kind of crazy stuff on pregnant women, on small children. Jesus Christ! But I'm talking like, don't know. I am not good in that kind of, because it was like 1, 2, maybe 3 years old children. Like, what in the world? You are not people, Jesus Christ. It was so crazy. I mean, I don't want to get into details. It was abomination. And this area 58, it's located in Nevada, in US. And I was like, what in the world? I mean, from my point of view, I don't want to say that it didn't happen, or it was not that bad, but from my point of view, it was approximately that kind of crazy bad as Mengele did during Second World War on Jewish people. It was, I mean, what in the world is wrong with those
Okay,
guys?
and for everyone watching today, can you just kind of briefly define the overview of what Area 58 is? I'm assuming it's something like an Area 51 or an Area 52, but what is it geared towards specifically?
It is dump, but please not dump as something if
Okay, and
somebody is stupid.
when he says dumb, he's
Yes,
saying deep
dump it's
underground military base.
DUMB. Dump is DUMB, aka Deep Underground Military Base, but it is huge. We are talking about that huge that it is going and going into Pacific coast and to the west, and to the Mexico, to the east, but please not New Mexico. I'm talking like Mexican border, like in another country, right? It is so crazy, oh my God. And I don't know what the heck should I think about it. And it is so heavily guarded. You cannot go pretty much anywhere. Or, those fences, high voltage electricity fences are everywhere. You even cannot slow down with the car. And there are those automatic, shooting heavy machine guns and whatever. So if you will do it, you are slashed. Like,
Yeah.
do you know
Is there anything online in terms of Area 58 that we can pull up, or is there?
Of course not. Of
Okay.
course not. It
Okay.
is heavily guarded. It is pretty much something like in former Soviet Union, now in Russia, that even certain cities, they were not shown in the map. It is something like that. That close. That close. It is crazy, right? And this is why we are talking about it. Because they are making, I mean, my bad, sorry. They are developing, but pretty much that's it, making next generation of biochemical warfare. And, testing, small children, I mean, like, you are pigs. Jeez, you are pigs. Oh
Okay.
my God.
Okay. So this is kind of like the next level. This is like futuristic technology at the same time. You know, it's interesting when I was scrolling down through the DARPA website that we just referred to. It was talking a lot about President Eisenhower in response to certain things, his connection to things. I've kind of found that Eisenhower seems to be really tied to a lot of the galactic activity in terms of intergalactic communications,
Yeah.
communications with grays, zetas, all of these things. What insight do you have maybe when it comes to that?
First things first. This gentleman, and this is the stuff. Is so my sorry, my bad. Was and wasn't, and you will be like, what? And this is the problem. Uh, sorry, my bad. The gentleman as Eisenhower was time anomaly, and no, don't look at me like that. Literally, he was from future.
Okay, Eisenhower was from the future.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because it's like certain people. We are talking about like sorry, many people from 70. No, sorry, my bad. 1970s, 80s, 1980s, suddenly out of nowhere, and bam, they are from steampunk era. So we are talking about 1880s, 1890s, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So time anomalies. And this is the problem. We are talking about wormhole, and that's the problem. What the Chinese, they created wormhole, and not only created but maintained wormhole. But there is a problem that somehow people started to misuse the wormhole, the entrances to the wormhole, and of course, like to create time anomalies.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah,
Have you heard of the yellow cube technology? This is
you may
something
ask.
this was
Sorry,
something
go
that
ahead.
I heard was given to Eisenhower that was taken to the Capitol building, that there is like a yellow cube that's kind of like a book that can see into the future timelines. And that it's a technology that they're utilizing that was gifted down from them from gray technology.
But that's the problem. Just by the way, because yellow cube is how can I say it correctly? Because we cannot have apodictic uh, repercussion. That means we cannot see one solid future. Do you know what I mean? It means like, okay, we need to have or to make certain decisions in order, for example, to prevent, I don't know, Third World War with nuke events, for example, right?
Mhm.
But something else
On
we can
on that
exclude.
on that note, when we talk about World War III and nuclear type stuff,
Uh-huh.
how are you feeling then with the current situation of the world? With the ties between China and the US and Taiwan. And I've heard a lot about EMP potential strike as well.
Uh-huh. Give me a second. I will say you something. The stuff is, and that's the problem. In the first place, and this is the stuff, euphemism. It's, if it is something, it is bad. I mean, the phenomenon. But if you will, or if you want to call it, let's say in quotes, better way. No. I mean, we in the army, we are not using or calling it the term Third World War, because normal people, or I don't want to say normal, but 99% of the people, if you say World War, they will got what? First and Second World War. So it's like, oh my God, Third World War. No, 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 no. So rather than that, we are using term total war. Why? Because in the first place, it is some sort of, like, okay, this is another term, but for the same, let's say, case. But there is another problem. Once it will happen, the whole world as we know it right now will be smashed, will be bam. Do you know what I mean? And from my point of view, that's what you said. I mean, US versus China or whatever. No, 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 no. Forget it. I will say you why. Because, and I will, let's say, spit it loudly. Most people in US believed that Trump was, quotes in quotes, ran by Russians. What? Biden is run by China. So what the heck is pretty much, or who the heck are the real enemies right now? Do you really believe it is, US versus Russia or China? Of course not.
Right.
Of course not.
Can you go into that a little bit? Can you explain maybe the behind the scenes with that confusion?
Of course, yes. It is pretty much the situation. How can I say it? That they cannot do any sort of action, because whatever it was, if it was balloon, if it was whatever it was, if it was one crazy, and I will not use any rough word, 1 month all over the Canada in US, and they didn't shoot it down. 1 month. Do you know how crazy it is? And they are beating to the chest that they've got NORAD. It is crazy. 1 month. It is crazy. Sorry, I don't know what the heck should I think.
Yeah. So what do you think about the other UFO activity then? I mean, 1 month that they didn't shoot it down, but then so what do you think about all the other happening?
From my point of view, this is desperate laugh, because from my point of view, first things first. Okay, sorry. Let's take it serious. Those quotes in quotes balloons, surveillance, or I don't know, climate balloons or whatever, they are not. They are some sort of, let's say, balloons, or let's call them balloons or whatever they are, in order to make better positioning system for ICBM, aka intercontinental ballistic missile. And people will be like, holy crap, ICBM. No, they don't need to have nuclear whatever in the warhead, because it can be either biological, then chemical, then biochemical warfare, there, whatever we know, pretty much we don't know, because they've got next generation of whatever they are developing, and whatever from I don't know, year 3 or 4,000, because, just by the way, video game, what it was, Cyberpunk 2077, those video games are not just video games. Those are soft disclosure. And this is what I'm talking about. The time anomalies, bleed throughs, and whatever. That's the problem. And this is it, like, we've got NORAD, not a big deal. But this is it. Yes, they will shoot this rocket, but it has multiple warheads, and it will spread this poisonous, whatever it will be, pretty much one third, or I don't know, almost one half of the all over the continent. Of course, for example, North American one, and that's the stuff. Oh my God! And they were afraid. I mean, whoever, Canadians or Americans, they were afraid because they're not sure if in this balloon wasn't or was something or wasn't. And
Yeah.
I mean it for real.
And I want to kind of tie in maybe some of the spiritual messages that I've been getting around it regarding this. Is
Okay.
that it's also something that is according to the Guardian missions, and it's kind of like a Guardian rescue mission or a Guardian intervention, so to speak, that through the forms of staging false flags and through the forms of staging all of these UFO invasions, that they can also bring unity around things, because if the world or these countries believe that a threat is beyond the level of military and central intelligences and Willy Wonka's getting involved and aggression and warfare between countries, that it can also represent some form of allegiances or alliances on a global level in terms of feeling like some sort of threat is outside of their control, so that it may be some form of level of divine intervention preventing the World War III from happening by the world believing that the threat is outside of the human capacity, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a message that I received today. Okay. That all of this is happening on a level of the divine, that it's coming in to try to actually restore the world, and that everything that's happening is happening for us versus against us, even though it feels like it's against us. And it feels like
Yeah, you are right. You are right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like this has been very heavy. I feel like there's a lot of people who have been feeling in fear, that they've been worried, that they've been, and I get the dissection of breaking down with these particular agencies and groups and, societies, all of these things of what they're doing. But then also bringing it back into that full perspective of what's really happening in terms of humanity. And I can see a lot of guardian intervention from galactic nations that work in terms of warfare prevention.
Give me a second. Yeah, you are right, but this is my question. And my question is, let's say, legit. Look, there is positive, I'm calling it hive mind, like people, they are, like meditating and doing it in one time and whatever. But how in the world, small, relatively small group of people is still doing it? It's still holding it together, and all of those, vast majority of people, and they are, I don't want to be rude or whatever, but like as Mediterraneans are doing, in Spain, fiesta, or in Spain, or in Greece, buzuki, they have time, all the time in the world, and this is the problem. I mean, it looks like people in the world or all around the world, and that's my question. Either they don't know, or they don't want to know, they don't want to realize what that situation is. Oh my God. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's so.
Right. Well, absolutely. I think that people get caught in these fear matrix programs. People get caught in these reality bubbles that are ultimately created and generated artificially. That's something that I've been seeing in terms of the collective energies that we've had And through this blue beam technology, you've heard of the blue beam technology. This is kind of like blowing up right now. It's actually going mainstream. It's trending on Twitter. You know, these are all terms that were never really brought to the mainstream until now, because we're having this staged act of UFO activity, the false flag. And so I think that people are
But
waking up to this information.
because that's the stuff. So many people actually. But what do you think, really? Because from my point of view, let's say I'm not sure, but let's say I will be not surprised if it will be not cover up for Blue Beam, right? I mean, it's for real. I mean, cover up. I mean, the overall, the whole kind of over activity of UFO. Just by the way, we are calling it UFO, what is not precise terminology, because it should be UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Just by the way, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for clarifying
No,
that.
no, no, it's fine. But I'm just saying, because to be perfectly honest, you know, when I was recruited to ACIO, it was still UFO, so I'm still using it.
Well, I
So
also think
what do you think about Blue Beam, or let's say if it is cover up or not? Because once again, I'm like 50-50. I don't know. Ooh.
I think it's the same technologies that were propagated in World War II, and
Yeah.
that this has a lot to do still between tensions between reptilian factions, draconian Anunnaki races as well. I also, what I've known from my studies in terms of the planetary grid, the planetary architecture, is that I think
Sorry once again. Sorry, please. Sorry once again. That's my problem. I am very all very often, very often interrupting people. Anunnaki, they don't exist for 6 million years. I will say you why.
okay.
Anunnaki, there 6 million years, and then they split it to good ones or to positive, and they are Elohims, and to bad ones, and they are Nephilims. So if we are talking about
I agree with that.
no, I'm just saying, okay.
Yeah, but
So if
I
we are
agree with the
talking,
I agree with the Nephilim component of it.
okay.
Yeah.
Because Anunnakis are, let's say, they there, but technically, give me a second. That's the stuff. How can I say it? Physically, they are absolutely the same. I'm like, for example, like the human body, for example, right? Human body. For example, if we are like humans, but if pure, how can I say that? Creation. So only good people will separate it. So they will be good ones. They will be Nephilims, and then the bad ones. Will be they. Sorry, I screwed that. So if bad ones will be Nephilims, and the good ones will be Elohims. That's it. That's it.
Well, I feel that everyone on the planet is Anunnaki even to this day. I mean, if you look back, I mean, even if you get into some of Billy Carson's observations and work, he talks about how the Anunnaki went in and genetically modified the prehistoric human being, and that everything descended down was of an Anunnaki genetic gene code because of the genetic manipulation, and that a lot of this came down through the three Abrahamic
Give me a second.
religions.
So you mean like, and that's it? What is creating us good or bad? Like, according free will? You mean?
Yeah, that there is a part of the genetic design in which we are carrying aspects of the Anunnaki gene code. Not saying this is like a high percentage for everybody. Maybe it's higher for some people, but that everyone
Yeah.
on the planet,
No,
everyone on the
I
planet,
understand you. I understand you.
yeah, everyone on the
Because
planet.
it's pretty much like the belief system. I don't want to say belief system, but it's pretty much like if you are good or bad, but technically what is good or what is bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. This is a hard thing for, I think, for people to come to terms with, is the conception around this, unless they've really actually studied, you know, about the Anunnaki and about the ancient history of these things. Otherwise, it's something that is hard to bring in because it's such a big, you know,
Yeah. But I'm just
data
saying
package of
what we've
information,
got. I'm
essentially.
just saying what we've got in our records, that pretty much Elohims are pure creations. So that means like
Yes.
Anunnakis are like good ones. Not good ones. Anunnaki are the one, like physiological, and Elohims are good ones, and Nephilims are the bad ones. But that's the problem. Like, for example, you've got the war, and if someone will help you, what the heck? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Even the aggressor, do you know what I mean? Who created the war? Do you know what I mean? He will help you. Do you know what I'm
Right.
trying?
Well, the Elohim are the guardians. They are celestial, angelic,
And that's
like
the problem.
six spheres that actually surround the Earth's body, or the Earth's templating. They're an actual like spiritual holographic structure
No,
within the auric templating of the Earth body.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So it's, and going back to the blue beam too, I think that this is such a psyop on so many levels. At the core of it, it's really about just hijacking the technology of the blue ray and the planetary field. And I
But
think,
from my point of view, planet is like, you know, she, because it's pretty much it's Gaia, she is like, okay, fine. She's like, do you know what I'm trying to say? She will took a lot, but then after a certain level will be broke. Then something like in Turkey and Turkish and Syrian, uh, border will happen. Like, I don't know, earthquakes or tornadoes or hurricanes, or I don't know, floods or whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's natural. Oh my God.
right. But that's what like HAARP and DARPA are working towards, is all of that modification of these weather events.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of difficult to know what's organic and what's not at this point. And that's kind of what I was talking about with the artificial intelligence minefields that we're running in the
No, please don't say me this, because I am with my wife in Japan, and they've got like 130 millions of people. My bad, inhabitants. 160 millions, and this, you are like, what the heck are you talking about, Peter? Because 30 millions of them are androids. I mean, how can I say that? Robots. But the stuff is like, I don't know how can I call them, because this is not do you know what I mean? Like, they've got the problems. They are perfect in every single aspect. So they've got even the material. It's like the skin. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They've got even inner temperature, everything. And I'm like, what? Why in the world do you manufacture 30 million of artificial people in Japan, and you cannot differ them? But we are here because we are doing certain business stuff with my wife in Tokyo, just by the way. Hey, why in the world? Do you know what I mean? It's like, or for example, I don't know if you saw those videos, real, not fake, like that there is this Hishoto, this guy that he's just pushing those desperate people to metro. Do you know what I mean? Underground train. And people, once they are in house, they don't want to hug each other, don't want to patch each other, because they are so close, so tight to each other, so they don't have intimacy with each other. No, but they don't want, because all the time they are, do you know what I mean, smashed to each other and what. But why in the world such a country manufactured 30 million of fake people? Oh my God.
That's really interesting. Yeah. And
This
then
is not
do you
interesting.
feel
This
that
is crazy.
this came through some form of underground dumb that this took place, or was this through the needlecraft technology? How were these 30 people
Do you know what?
crafted?
Yes. Do you know what? Yes. They tested some, because they test. How can I say that? They want to make. How can I say that? Eternal soul, whatever. I am not expert in this field, because it is. How can I say it? Like. Astral, whatever. So they believe, what is absolutely crazy for me, and you cannot cheat death. You cannot. So those rich Japanese families, they believe that, do you know what I mean? Your mind or your remains, everything, then you download it to hard drive and you get it pretty much in your head, right? I'm like, but this is fake. You cannot cheat death. It's BS. It's nonsense. You cannot. And I'm like, what? Sorry, I'm smiling, but this
Yeah,
is
no
not
worries.
smile.
My question for you is then, what is kind of your overview message then for everybody watching today with the information that you're bringing forward?
From my
How
point of view, it's, let's say stay positive, because, and once again, if you there are 3 times per day, 4 or 6 hours, we are making, what is it, positive hive mind. People all over the world are meditating, like massively. It is like dozens of millions, I'm not kidding you, and it is really helping. Okay, believe me or not, it is really helping. But this is it, because from my point of view, if we will not do this, then those crazy people from Area 58 will be much more advanced, and I don't know what they will achieve. So this is it. If you will help us, then do it, please, for us.
So
Meditate.
we should embrace the positive aspects
Definitely.
of our hive mind
But please,
telepathy, or
not
our
only
hive
this,
mind capabilities, which is an
not
interesting perception.
not only this, because for example, you will be maybe smile like this is total nonsense. For example, there is old lady, just the just bring the bags from from one side road to another side the road. So do something positive. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Don't just look that she's not there. No, this is not my business. Do you know what I mean? So this is it. Do positive stuff, because if you will do nothing, do you know what I mean? then there will be no positive energy. Or for example, if you have teenager, once again, with positive example, try to do something to show him or her not to use overuse quote unquote smartphone and then social media and whatever. So positive things, okay? My thought, this is my those are my thoughts.
Well,
Pretty
thank you
much.
so much, Peter, for your thoughts. This is going to include our hour today, but I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and giving me your insight. I think it would be great to maybe check in from time to time, especially with the current events and some of the intel that you have. So yeah, there you have it, guys. This is today's show. And the message is to stay positive, to
Yeah.
believe that there are higher divine things that are occurring and taking place that really don't have a lot to do necessarily with the capacity of the human's limitations within the warfare and predatorial mentalities, and that these things that are presenting could also, in fact, be divine intervention on a lot of levels, and also to embrace the positivity of the hive mind. I really like that you said that. I feel like that's a good point. That the reason why some of our organic structures are hexagonal or honeycomb is because it is a
Yeah.
component of the way we transmit telepathically and according to our original templating. So I think that's kind of that's interesting thing to mention and notate. So awesome. So yeah, Peter, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any last things you'd like to say to the guests today?
From my point of view, it is very good uh, point to stop our today's show. Once again, I think it was a great show. Any, let's say, any good positive, not only thought, but any positive uh, thing you will do or you did or you are doing will, let's say, bring some positive vibe. Once you will get like, okay, there is some positive hive mind, what really is helping and will help to uh, stop, create world's destruction, and it will stop elites to keep us under the control and when whatever. And believe me, even the smallest of the small thing, and it will help because it is how it is. That's it. Okay. So this is my ultimate message for today. Once again, thank you very much for giving me opportunity to be on your channel. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward for next time. Hold
You're
tight.
welcome. And hey, Peter,
Bye
just
bye.
for everyone, Peter, really quick, just for everyone watching, what is your accent? Like where you seem to be kind of a collaboration of a few things.
Oh my God. Officially, I am from Slovakia, but I lived in Germany. I lived in UK, but I mean lived in London. I lived in oh my God, I lived in Boston. In
All over the place.
yeah, all over the place. Yeah. You are right. I lived in Vancouver. Now in Sydney. Oh, of course, in France for 10 years in France.
Awesome. Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much again. And yeah, we'll look forward to the next show. So I hope everyone watching has a beautiful rest of your day and take care.